Alrighty, so you have a sick land skin, so you're already in a good spot here. And another thing too, right? Like Baka can't get you off. Obviously his ult bothers you, but you know one thing, a good interaction in the Baka is that you can up down on the Baka ult. Since it's actually, I'm not sure if it cripples your up down. That's actually interesting. I'd have to figure that out. Herc Punch is kind of annoying. Jingwei. So you're only scared of Herc Punch in this matchup. So it's a pretty good Lancelot game here. So you're going my build, I see. The only difference is that I like Wing Shard here. So I don't mind Horn Shard. I think it's fine on Lance. He has a lot of CDs, so they're all being reset. So definitely not bad at all. I like Wing Shard because of the early. So you can my reason for Wing Shard is that you can get a couple extra autos in between your ones in the early game, and I think that's value. But I think Horn Shard is fine if you like Horn Shard. I think it's more than fine here. So you want to start with your autos. Reason being is that so you hit one auto like on nothing, and then you charge up you do another one, then you do the cleave into a 1. So I'll show you right here. So okay, so you see auto twice into the cleave. You don't need that initial first auto. It actually is a waste of time because your 1 clears both side minions. So then you can start dragging it back. So it's something very, very small, but it helps in terms of efficiency, as you've noticed that getting to mid early is important for fighting purposes. Because you see how you put an auto into that side minion, which is a little bit of a waste of time. And I know it might sound kind of crazy like in terms of micro, but it actually makes a big difference. And you also got hit by the big swipe down. That's why you're so low here. So that's why I was saying earlier to start your chain, your auto chain, hit nothing, and then as soon as it spawns, you have your second into the cleave, 1, auto, 1, and then you start dragging it this way. Since you're like a Willix in terms of your reach on your autos, you should never get hit by the down strike. Because at this point, you'd be like around here in terms of HP, and you'd already be like by the tower line, like close to tower line. So one way you'll be able to learn by yourself is that you see how you popped a health pot because it's kind of, I mean, it's not necessary here, but you did pop a health pot. If you have to pop a health pot, know that you did the start wrong. And then, you know, with time, you'll start to perfect that.
Yeah.
So here you want to kill the sides. Reason being, right? I don't know if you know, but when you kill the 2 minis alone, you're able to hit 3 on the second wave. That's why it's so important for you to do this before the mid laner. Because if the mid laner leeches off the minis, you don't hit 3 on the second wave. Meaning if they're both 3 when mid camp spawn and they fight you, and you're 2 and he's 3, it's a really hard fight. It's 1 extra ability. So here, what you should do is, this is right, you auto cancel into the 1, and then you auto cancel the mini into the 1 again. But you choose to hit the big, which is going to slow down the speed that you clear the minis. You see the extra auto there? And now he splits this, and that's why you're still 1. So either way, it wouldn't have mattered because this guy was running full speed over here. But with Anubis, it's kind of okay because he clears so well that's why he got here so fast. But usually you'd be able to do so. And you also always level your 2 over your 3. I level 2. Because your 3-1 isn't as strong as 2-1. Especially when you have blink, because you can blink, bounce them into your team, and then start your auto cancels into your 1. You have a lot of pressure here. This is one thing that I usually teach my junglers is that you always want to use I value, right? You have I. Look where. So one way you know where their wave is you look at your own wave, right? So here, if you were to look at the minimap, you see that their wave is here, right? It's up here. So what this means is you have this amount of time to regen mana from the jungle, which is right here. So you wouldn't have to pop the multi, right? And that's how you take advantage of such aggressive clear like Anubis. Because here you pop a multi, which isn't necessary. And you could just have, so if you had done this all right, in terms of speed clear into this clear, you still have 2 extra pots, which is actually very important in terms of, you know, early game fights. and in terms of efficiency. Do you see the okay? So you see how you're level 2.
Yeah.
So here you'd be level 3. Obviously, Anubis does clear very fast, and this is kind of like a different, like I guess a variable or something that doesn't happen often. It's just Anubis that clears so fast. So if you're 3 here, think about how good your fight is. Like you have 3 spells to fight this Baka that's actually going on your Anubis. Another thing, you have 2 decisions to make here. What are they? And if you don't know, don't worry.
Fight or farm?
Exactly. It's simple as that sometimes. So you could either go to left mids and then you have prio. Wait, let me see why the quality looks. It's fine though. So yeah, it's either fight or farm, right? If you go left, you're gonna guaranteed to get mid camps. Not only that, you're guaranteed to get proc camp. Why?
Because the dual lane has so much pressure?
Exactly. So you are taking the fight, which I don't mind. It's just this is a lot of guaranteed farm, but I don't mind this fight at all. Anubis level 3, he cooks him. Nice one. Nice. So let's watch this back. So once you, this is a beautiful, by the way, a beautiful 2-1. They stack up, so you get to the slow on both of them. But then you start to panic your abilities. What is the first thing you should be looking at right here? Out of your whole layout, what are you looking at? What is the most important thing to look at right here? And if you don't know, don't worry. You can tell me.
I don't know.
It's your CD on your 1, right? Sometimes it's simple, you know. Don't worry. Sometimes I'm not looking for no, you know, Da Vinci Code answer. I'm looking for just as simple as it is, right? Your CD is the most important thing, right? Because you're 1 and you're gonna level your 2 here, right? Because you just hit 3. So you want to have, you know, easy keybinds to just level this up right away because you hit 3, which would set you up. Which you do a little bit. Your 1 comes up before you level your 2. And all you need is auto cancel 1, auto 1, and he's guaranteed dead. But because you're thinking about so many things here, because I think you're thinking about, oh, I need to level my 2 here, which costs you on just actually using your 1 and finishing him. I think you're about to watch this here. You see, you finally leveled it up, but you could have already been auto 1 him. So you're not focused on the actual kill. You're focused on like leveling up, which is okay. This just comes with experience. But I just want to, you know, give you the information. Because the 2 is the wrong decision if you think about it, right? Obviously you miss and that's a mechanical error, but that's fine. That happens to the best of us. But the 1 is the actual play is better, right? Because you auto 1, and if you need it, let's say he had more HP. If you need the 2, it's your last ability in your rotation, not the first.
Yeah.
You got his beat, so you're okay with that. What's something else that you could have used to guarantee that you get that kill? And if you don't know, don't worry.
I don't know.
Your shard. Because here, look. You hit such a beautiful... On your horse, you hit a beautiful 3-1. Beautiful. Boom. Here, you just shard. And you immediately have your 1. Right here, you have your 1. So you could already start your auto cancel into the 1, then level your 2, and he's dead. I mean, you don't even need to shard, but it would have helped guaranteed. So it's always something to think about. I know shard is one of the things that I really, with a lot of, you know, the people that I'm coaching, a lot of my, of the community, I always talk about shard value. I know it's pretty new, and you're a new player as well, so it's a lot to process in the beginning. But shard, the way you think about shard is use it. If it was low efficiency, it's better than no efficiency, right? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So
use it, and then you think back to yourself, was that a good shard value? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but it's experience, you know. If you don't use it ever, then you'll never know. And it has a pretty low cooldown, so you don't feel bad, right? Like compared to blink, if you just blink randomly, that hurts a bit. But sharding randomly, even for cooldowns, you know when you watch me, try to like look for the shard value. Like I shard for camps, I shard for many things, many different things. So one thing I do like is that you pop your pots pretty aggressively. But I do think it's a little bit over aggressive how you're using your pots, but I don't mind it since you're learning that right now. I do like that you're using it. You're being proactive with your pots. I like that. So keep doing that, and just try to tone it down on, you know, when you use the pots, I would say.
Yeah.
I like that you conserve your mana here. That was smart. There's no need to cast spells when Anubis one-shots it. Not only that, you have a multi-pot popped, and you have eye value. So you see you're at 21 MP5, which is really good because you might need it for this gank here. Another thing here, I don't mind you not getting on your horse here. A lot of people would say, yo, you should just get on your horse for the movement speed. But I disagree, because you don't know if you're going to need to use to get off the horse, and it's 30 mana to get on, right? So you don't know if you're going to be able to cast off the horse, or you're coming only to the proc camp, right? So I don't know if you did that intentionally, but I just wanted to give you the information behind it.
Yeah.
Another thing, when you're autoing any camp, Lancelot has a cleave, and all his abilities are AoE damage, right? So you always want to use your autos on the tankiest part of the camp, because then you're going to save time on the efficiency, right? For example, if you just hit the side minion, and I know you might have did it just to aggro it or whatever, but it's one auto that's not being put into what's actually going to be alive after your abilities. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, you choose the gank. If you're going to choose the gank here, there's two options. There's two ways to go about this gank. What are they in terms of initiation? And if you don't know, like I said, don't feel free to tell me.
Or blink or the horse.
Exactly, as simple as that. You have your blink opportunity or your horse. So here you have to make a decision. Because if you're on your horse, they're gonna hear. By the way, right? They're gonna hear the sound cue of you being on your horse. So blink is the more I guess surprising factor, while being on your horse is more efficient because you save your blink, right? So little things like that. Like I said, I just want to give you the information so you could always be thinking about it subconsciously. Yo, Google with the 34. Love you, brother. So you choose horse. I don't mind it. Look for the slow. Beautiful. Good try on the 2. Beautiful. You level into your 1. There you go. You auto the big and the cleave into the 1. So you want to auto cancel after your AoE auto here. So what I mean by auto, you've done auto cancels already, so I'm assuming you know what it is. So here, yeah. Boom, 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 immediately 1. Literally, you can 1 before he even finishes the swipe this way. And you can practice that in jungle practice, and I think it'd be a lot of value, because that's how, especially in the late game, when you have Hydras, and all these late game items, this is the difference between you one-shotting someone or them one-shotting you. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure you have that. Yeah. Nice and nice down. Beautiful. That was beautiful right there. The auto cancels into the 1. So you got that down. Should you 2 this or should you not? Right? I'll let you know. Should you 2 this right here?
No.
Why?
To conserve mana.
Why would you why would you want to conserve mana?
In case the jungler's nearby.
That's a fair observation, but let's predict your route after this, right? What is your best case scenario after you clear this camp? Back. Right? Because you're so low on mana, and you have tier 2. You had such a beautiful rotation, right? You killed Baka, you got left mids, you ganked left, then you get prop. This is like almost picture perfect in terms of your start, right? Other than you didn't get the kills, but in terms of a jungle route, that's as beautiful as it gets in the first 2 minutes. So the first thing you want to do here is reset, right? Because you don't want to walk around with 30 mana, right? Like, there's no point. And what farm is here other than back camps? Do you want to greed for back camps up here? It's not really worth it because of Invader's Curse. Do you know what Invader's Curse is?
You don't get much gold in the beginning from invading camps.
Exactly, gold and XP, so it's both. So mathematically, it's not really worth it to come up here and take that, especially with how low resources you are. It's better to get on map again with your Mace 2 and be full mana and look for these, either a blue invade or group up your camps, you know, whatever it is you want to do off the rotation. Another thing, right? So the answer back to the initial question is yes, you should use your 2 here, right? Because it's a little bit faster clear than just your autos, and either way the goal should be to back right after this. So did you get everything there? You have any questions about anything I said there?
Nope.
Perfect. So it's something very small, right? Because your clear speed is increased by what? Maybe like 0.3 seconds, but it's something it's about the mentality and the decision making more than it is the efficiency, right? Beautiful. He did it right there. And immediately won again, right? Because you want it back. So this rotation as a jungler is called the greed jungler play. Why? Because you just clear everything left side and you're going to go back to your speed. I don't mind it. I do this myself sometimes, but you could have been backing and be here, right? Because if this Baka invades blue, which is where he should be, right? Because he just saw you gank left. And this is for this information is for later as you start to rank up. You're gonna need it because this Baka should be here, right, standing right here, because he knows you were ganking left, and then you could have been here, right? If you backed right after this, you could have been on your horse, probably somewhere around here. And if Baka's here, you punish him. This game is over. Why? Because you won mid, you won left, and you killed their jungler, and you're way ahead now. So little things like that. But so, and the reason we call this the greedy jungle play is because it's really good for you, right? Because your route is so beautiful. You're about to hit 5 at 3 minutes, which is crazy. The only thing is it's a little greedy, but I don't mind it. I just wanted to give you the information on whether you like, so you can make a decision. Oh, I'm gonna greed or I'm not gonna greed, right? Also, here in terms of clear speed, right? You have 2 levels in your 1, so it's actually better to use your auto. Remember the thing you did earlier, auto cleave 1-1-1. It's better here, right? Because you put an extra base level into that 1. Make sense? Than using your 2, and it's also 5 mana cost, but I mean, it's something. Why do you have so much MP5 right now? And?
The horse?
Nope. So I was just seeing where your mind was at. So do you know what totem does?
Oh yeah, the increased mana regen.
Exactly. So when you pass the tower, so if Nua or your soul laner kills totem and you pass tower, it refreshes the mana regen from the totem. So that I just wanted to question you. I just wanted to see where you're at. I'm just trying to give you as much information as possible. So here you can group the camps, right? There's 2 options here, right? What are the 2 options in terms of grouping camps?
I can take speed to backs or speed to red.
Exactly. And what do you think is the best here?
Speed to red.
Why?
More farm.
It is more farm, but so the way you analyze this, right? So you like you said, you have 2 options, right? Speed to back, speed to red. The way you analyze this is where is your mid, right? If your mid is like your mid has pressure, right? Because he shoved before the other mid laner, but he's going to left mids. So what I think is best here to do is to do this to this and leave the red for him, right? Because he's winning his lane hard and he has pressure. So if Anubis after this wave was coming this way, speed to red is correct. If he's going to left mids, speed to backs is correct. So you see that? Just to get a better read on the jungle rotations. I did just drop a video on jungle rotations if you wanted to watch when you had an opening. I think that would help you a lot. That's wild. You have to go to settings to pause. That's the controller life.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So you're about to have a giant spike here. Do you agree with this, what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so don't worry. I'm about to teach you something. So right now, let's say you ult, right? This guy to kill this guy, for example. Imagine you had Joan's Wrath. So you're 20% CD. So right now the most important thing to do right now is back. Why? Because you're gonna get Joan's, right? And what does Joan's do? It means if you ult any time past that, after you get your Joan's, you're gonna get so much value out of that 20%, right? Because your ult right now is like at a 90-second CD, or I'm not sure exactly what it is at level 1, but. So let's say you ult right now, it's going to be 90 seconds without your ult. While if you were to back right after this camp and gank any lane, you're going to have your ult at like 70 seconds. You know what I mean? Or 70 something. And that increases your pace significantly. And this blue should be down. I'm not sure how this is down. Okay, so what is the right thing to do here? I'll go back a little bit.
Say my abilities.
What is the right thing to do here?
Save my abilities to the last second to secure it.
That is one of your options, or
Fight him.
exactly, just kill him. He has no mana. He has literally no buttons. Why 50-50 a buff? Even though it's probably not 50-50, I would say more about a 70-30 because you have better secure, but because you have abilities. But why not just go on him and then get the blue? You know what I mean? Because if you kill him, it's worth more than the blue here by a lot. So once you see him walk in here with no mana, the first thing you're doing is going on him. And you're going to test the field, right? He's probably going to start running away. If he runs away, you get the blue regardless. If he doesn't, you kill him and get the blue. You know, it's a win-win scenario. If you 80-20 the blue buff, meaning you use your CDs on the blue and he tries to hit it, he gets it, or you get it, whatever, and then it becomes kind of weird, right? Because then you have no CDs to kill him. So the other two options are guaranteed, while this one is a risk. But good invade. There's no way this buff should be up though. But I definitely I'm just trying to coach you for get you prepared for later down the road. Because some things might seem good that when they're probably not. Like right now, you have way too much gold right now. You want to back on that 1500 spike, right? Because there's no point of farming fast if you're not using the gold, right? It's almost like being rich but not spending your money. So like. At this point, once you're on your 1500 spike, you want it back immediately for Jones. Try to make that habit. And usually you won't even get to that point. Does that make any sense? Like, remember how I said you should have backed earlier around these mid right here?
Yeah.
It's because usually you won't be able to get that 1550 on your first rotation, but because your first rotation went so well, it was an opportunity. An opportunity presented itself. So you see how you're still not backing. You're about to be at 2200. My boy's saving for next game. So here you're about to get Jones. You're going Crush. Okay, you go Jones. Then you're going Hydras. Do you watch me play Lance before?
Yeah.
For sure, Ant. Well, definitely, I'll probably hit you up if it stops raining to play some ball, and then I can scoop them up. It is a good gank. Support dies. This is a good understanding of risk, right? Like, this gank is probably not going to be that successful because it's a Jingwei with ult. So you come and take a secure farm. That's good. Good job. It's good clear. Yeah, the rain is horrible, bro. My brakes almost got cooked. So you always want to group here. Always. Every time you hit a buff that's near another one, you always want to group because you're, think about it, right? You're spending this much mana and it could be on the same camps. Instead, you're going to have to do the same rotation to that camp, right? I'm probably sure you see the efficiency here again on speed. Because you're going to wait for your CDs to come up instead of hitting this and then just dragging this to here, and then all your CDs are up either way. And you only have to use the mana once.
Yeah.
Remember what I said about the 1? You have 4 levels in your 1, 1 level in your 2. So why use the 2 when the 1 just does way more at this point?
Yeah.
Also, you put an extra level in your horse. I'm not sure if that was intended. Or is that maybe a misclick? Another thing too that I like to do on Lance is I don't level anything on level 8. Do you know why?
I think it's called point holding.
Yeah, exactly. It's called point holding. So what you would do is you put another level in your 1 and then another one into your ult. So you're at 5 and 2, and then you leave these at level 1. And it's really high value, especially on Lancelot. Reason being is that, let's say for example you're on your horse. You won someone. It's going to do a lot of damage because it's level 5, right? I'm sorry, yeah, level 5. Then you won one. Then you ult them, and ult's going to do a lot of damage because it's level 2. And then you won them again off your horse. So think about the damage difference there compared to putting levels into your 2 and or your 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mándame mensaje en Twitter, David, y yo te lo enseño. What's up, Nino?
An ally has been taken offline.
This is a good ward place. You wanna? Yeah, there you go. Good job. I would have preferred this ward to be on red, just because it gets a timer, and timer is more value than someone walk into a timer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How much is Hydra's? From where you have it, how much gold do you need? And if you don't know, don't worry. I just want to test you, because these things will allow you to become a better player.
1100?
17. Good one. You messed up there. And you're going to tell me how you could have done this better. How could you have changed this?
One first.
And why? There's a couple
More
reasons.
damage.
That and there's one that's
It wouldn't
more
have
important.
pushed him away from me.
Exactly. Positioning difference, right? So let's start this like this. Let's go back to this gank. What's up, Nino? What's up with him? What's up, Shake? All right, so we're going to go in here. You hear Raw, use a beam. Okay, you know he's here. You won, right? This is correct. Now you auto. Okay. The question you ask yourself here is, why would I bounce him away from him? 1. 2, why would I use my CC? 3, why would I use any ability? Now, I ask you all these things. He's still, you know where does he need to go? Where does he need to run? This way, right?
The tower.
Yeah, tower or just to his side of the base. But you have the angle, right? So what does this mean? It means that you don't need to, you're not forced to use any abilities. He's forced to use stuff, right? So what you do here is you left click him until eventually he's out of range, and then you won. And then you auto again. And when he's out of range, then you won again. And then you auto. By then, he's probably dead. And if he's not, then you stun him. And then you have ult. You know what I mean? Now you're playing all his cards. All right, so for example, this is the way I like to look at it. Is you have all your cards, right? Let's say, do you play any card games or you play poker or anything?
No.
Okay, for example, so here you have every single advantage possible, but you show him everything like right away. Like you don't need to show any of this, right? Because let's say Baka comes, right, to help, or Ares comes to chain. Well, now you have no buttons. You already bounced him off, so you can't bounce Baka off. and you bounce them away. The best way to do this would be to like auto him one, then bounce him right back into your Anubis, and then you still have another dash after. And then just in case anyone else comes after that, you have all these other buttons. So here you're using your kit out of habit. Does that make any sense? You're used to using this combo, so you do it every time. So that's something you want to kind of to break yourself out. Be like, was that the right combo that time that I went for the kill? And you know, the more you question yourself, the more you'll come up with different answers. One thing I did like about this play is that you gauged whether you had to use your ult or not, right? Which means you're thinking about conserving your resources, which is a good play. So I applaud you on that. I think that's good to have that mindset, especially, you know, with how new you are to the game, in my opinion. And when I say new, you know, people play this game. I think you're new to MOBAs even if you played 3 years. That's how deep these games get.
Yeah.
Do you think this was right? What you're about to watch?
No.
Why?
I should have hit the one in the middle to pull them all closer to each other so I could hit them all at the same time.
That would have been fine, but it's something deeper than that. Try to come up with it. Look.
Now the horse is on cooldown?
There you go. So why use your horse CD, which moves you around the map, when you can just clear with your... You can get off your horse, press 3, auto 111, then get back on your horse, right?
Yeah.
So that's always something really important to do. What's something you could have done here before you picked up your speed?
Hit the totem.
Why? Do you know what this totem does?
Attack speed. And then the red one's lifesteal.
So what do you think is more value here?
Lifesteal.
Why? Honestly, either one is fine. They're both good. This one's good for DPS. This one's better for sustainability and fight. But I mean, they're both good. I just wanted, you know, see where your mind is at in terms of totems and what's better and what's not. But you see how that's good that you're thinking, right? Like you're like, oh wait, what is better? That's what you need to do with every single item and every decision you make. Question it, because most of the time it's gonna be wrong until you eventually start coming up with the right answers consistently, which is the peak of the game. What's up, Balls? Thanks for the 33 months. Welcome back, gorgeous. That was good though. I like that you backed right away, got your Hydra spike. So you're coming for this gank. You have no ult. They're at tower line. They're pretty low. So you're going to go for the slow. Nice. Alright. Now that you watched that, right, in hindsight, let's go back again. How do you change that from happening? And if you don't know, don't worry.
I don't know.
So you can use your blink here, right? If you blink 2, 1, guess what you have up after that? Your 3. Then you 1 again. And guess what you have after that? Your ult. And guess what happens after you ult again? You have your horse again. So that's the big difference. The rotation of the kit was a problem here. Well, it was, you try to cut distance with your biggest damage spell. You agree? Watch it here. You slow. You try to cut the distance, but he still has jump, right? So that now let's reverse that. Coming with a gank here. Oh, it's not pausing. Okay, you blink, right? You blink on whoever you want here. This guy still has jump. This guy still has 1, right? You blink on whoever uses a spell. You blink 1 or blink 2. Then he's going to have to punch. Then you have your horse and your ult. You can pick which one you want. I think horse 1 is better because then after you slow, you ult and then it gets your horse again. So practicing that micro of rotation of your ult, your horse into your ult, into your horse again is really important. But not using blink here is what cooked you. Because you're like, if you use your blink, it conserves your kit to guarantee a kill here. Beautiful. What could you use here that would have guaranteed a kill without having to use your ult?
Shard.
Exactly. And think about it. It's been 9 minutes and you haven't used your shard once. Meaning, how much efficiency is that getting, mathematically speaking?
None.
Exactly. You could have just won one there, but I don't mind the ult. Waiting for this camp is not. I don't mind this. Who can come here? Who's the one person that can be at these backs?
Raw.
Nice. And that is called. You're just doing process of elimination at that point, right? I'm sure we did that in school a shit ton. But yeah.
Yeah.
So literally what you're doing is process of elimination, right? So like you're looking, okay, this guy's dead. This guy just died. He's spawning. He can maybe TP. The only person that can be here is Raw, but I have a good ward. So I can. This is confirmed. This is no risk, high reward here. What up, Killjoy? What up, Trid? What are you farming to? What is your next spike?
Level 12.
Beautiful. Furium with the 93 months. What the fuck? 93 months. This man's about 100 months. Much love, man. Welcome back. What are you gonna beat this game? What are your highest value beads in this game?
Ares ult.
Mm-hmm.
The Herc pull.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And by thinking about that, what does that do for you? It allows you, so you're already thinking about, if this happens, I know to beads, right? And it's just, it allows you to just, that's something you should think in the beginning of every game. Yeah, Bako ult's fine too. Pokey with a 27 months. Thank you, gorgeous. Love you too, bro. But Bako ult, so the thing with Bako, I mean, you could beats it, but I think your horse, you should always have your 4. You could bounce him off too. There's a lot of ways to play against that. Bling beads, you're in a good pace. Yeah, bro, but honestly, for 1 year of playing, a year and some and change, you look really good to me, honestly. I think you have a good mindset to grow in this game, in terms of just looking at your mechanics, your decision making in some fights. Like, I can see you said you're silver right now, I can see you easily in plat diamond within a couple weeks. As long as you're playing the right characters, and you know, this is definitely one of those good characters right now. A lot of people, especially as you're grinding up right now, not a lot of people see Lancelot, right? And what happens is when you start rotating your kit, like how I talked about you would in right lane, people don't know how to play against that because they never seen it. So this is something that's good that you're picking this character and you know, learning the ways. So this is a good gank because you're so strong and you have everything available to you. Nice. I like that you got off your horse there. That was good. Because now you have horse again either way. Attacking gold would be the call there. But sometimes rallying your teammates is not the easiest in ranked. I'm sure you have some experience with that.
Yeah.
There you go. You switched it up to lifesteal. I like that. It's good that you're thinking outside the box. You're on these timers again. This is another one of those scenarios, right? This is a level 8 Baka. This man is disrespecting you by jumping anywhere near you. So just go on him and then take the camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this guy is nobody. Okay, one thing too. I know. So what is your sense of controller? I would make it higher. Because I see you having some trouble when people turn left to right on your ones. Your ones start to lose like a little bit of like accuracy. I would try hiring your sense and maybe get a feel for it. Because I remember when I played console, I remember controller. The biggest thing is that you can't whip it, right? It's not a flick type of. So think about Smite. It's a complete flick game, right? There is literally 2 tracking spells: On Her ult and Anubis ult, and maybe I guess Ixchel ult. So with that being said, you're talking about 3 spells to the other 1,000 spells. So it's all a flick game. And so if you're gonna be playing controller, hire your sense and get comfortable with it. And then the flicks become, you know, your movement becomes more fluid. Everything becomes more fluid if you can control the higher sense, right? I'm not saying to hire it and then you're missing every spell. Just hire it. You're going to miss spells for a little bit. And then you'll see that once you master that higher sense, you're going to be able to do a lot more. Nice slow. If you ult him right here, after this slow, he's dead. He jumped already, right? So he has no way out. So I full kit him. You missed your 1, that's fine. I get on my horse, I won him. And then I ult, right? You can ult right now while that 1 is still going, and then up down with your horse. But that would be a mistake, because if you up down with your horse, it means you're taking the damage from your 2, which your 2 is level 1, which is a mistake, by the way. You need to put all your levels into your 2. Reason being that you should be putting your levels in your 2, not only is it an actual damage ability, but it scales into your horse form, which you're up and you're up down with the horse is more damage than your 1. So the math on this, so it might be a lot of information, so let me know if you have any questions, is that when you're putting levels into your 2, the only reason you use your 1 before using your 2 in horse form is that you're putting levels in your 1 to begin with. So the base damage is much higher, so you wouldn't want to use the up down if you have more levels in your 1. But as you transition to putting levels into your 2, as you hit level 16, 15, 17, your 2 actually becomes more damage, and it's a root. So it becomes better to use your up down if you can avoid maybe an ability or 2, and it does more damage. So does that make any sense?
Yeah.
All right. So here you could have ulted, and guess what? You have your horse again. And then guess what after that? Your 1 and your 2 are probably up. You're doing the thing, letting this guy sit next to you. He's going to eat one of these, probably the big one. And if he does, he's a happy man. Because him getting farm anywhere is good. But he didn't get the big, so you're okay with that. So when you're playing Lancelot, right, and you're very ahead, right, you feel very comfortable in this game. You're up 8,000 in 12 minutes, 11-2. You want to run them over. What does this mean? Is this character can be at all lanes almost at the same time, right? With his horse, movement speed. His 3 plus speed buff, you can be everywhere. And your ult is such a low CD, right, with this build, because you're at 30% CD already. So and if you ever have blue totem early, you can have 40% CD, meaning you're ulting, you ult this lane, you kill, you horse mid, you kill, you ult this lane, you kill, you just choke the map, which you already did. You kind of already choked the map because you had, you won your every lane for your team. But you can choke it harder. You see what I'm saying? By killing this Baka here or killing, anyone anywhere. You want to be using this ult. Another thing to think about is why build CD if you're not ulting off CD? Does that make sense? Because you're not getting value from building. Like at the rate that you've been ulting, would a Crusher been more value? The answer is yes, and so is Brawlers, because you're not ulting off CD, which sometimes you're not able to, but the goal is to do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Enemy missing right.
What could you be doing different here?
Blink.
That and just be on your horse, right? Because that is a threat to them. Because if you're on your horse, not only you leveled your horse, which is that should never happen, but because you leveled your horse, that means your shield region is high. Meaning the only thing that they can take you off your horse is probably raw 1, raw ult, and Herc punch. Meaning, so if you're just standing in them, or like standing around with your horse, they can't do anything about you unless the Herc punches you. And if he does, then he's dead. So you not being on your horse here is a mistake. And you always start with your 2. You can always 2 in between your 1s, which is highest efficiency. And also, better players will read you. As you start to rank up, if you always use your 2, they're always going to know, okay, he's going to come, he's going to blink, or he's going to walk to me, and 2. If you switch that up, then it makes you harder to read as a player. Take your time with your ones. You see how you're wanting, like, get really close to them and make sure you aim it and you guarantee hit it because it's your biggest damage spell. You can't use it at close distance. Your 2 is your weakest spell right now, right? And I feel like you're focusing your 2 to guarantee hit it, while your 1 is to close distance. But if you look at your leveling order, that makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
They are entering a state of
Do you feel like you needed to ult there?
No.
Why?
They're both pretty much already dead.
That, and look how far they are from their base. You guarantee kill this guy. You probably kill this guy, and then you probably kill the brawl after with your ult. Here, you just left click them. Remember, you got the Hydra proc. The reason you build Hydras is to get some left clicks in. So take your time, walk up to them. After you auto them, you're probably in range to 1. So that's the way I would kind of make it a habit, right? I'm in range to auto. I'm in range to 1. Right, so here I would wait for my 1, kill this guy, then dash to the other guy, and then have ult to kill him. But either way, everybody ends up dying, so it doesn't matter too much.
a state of killing.
It's a good farming route. All right, let's go a little bit to the team fights. I want to talk to you about team fighting. It doesn't seem like this game will have too much team fighting. You guys are absolutely smashing them. All right, you're going Heartseeker here. Is this right? Why are you going Heartseeker? What does Heartseeker do? Better yet.
The bonus damage based off of health.
Correct. So what is based off health, right?
Yeah.
Who has health on their team?
Herc and Ares.
Correct. What level are they?
11 and 13.
And does that affect how much HP they have?
Yeah.
So is Heartseeker the right item?
No.
And what could you built to better assess the situation in front of you?
Rated or brawlers?
Good options. What are the difference?
One has pen and one is Anio.
Correct. Which one would be better for this situation?
Brawlers.
Correct. Good shit. I feel like you ever watch a SpongeBob episode where the SpongeBobs are looking for the files in their brain? That's what I felt like you were going through right there.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy has been slain.
You could dive this. Reason being is look how big your shield is. Do you know how many tower shots do you think you can take here? Before getting off your horse. No, it's a little too much. It's 2. Right? You can take 2 tower shots before you get off your horse. Meaning you have 2 tower shots worth of time to hit your 1. Once you do, then you have your 1-2 and beads. Right? So if they were to stun you, Herc were to stun you, you beads that, you 1-2 him, and then after you ult, and then you get out. This would be called a limit testing play. I wouldn't say it's the correct play in terms of macro, because if you do die, they get a lot of money. So it's not worth mathematically speaking, but I think it would be good to limit test here, and so you can feel what it feels like to press your buttons perfectly. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So it's like taking a shot from like a 3-point. Let's say you're not a good 3-point shooter, but you take the shot because you're winning by a lot, right? So why not take the 3-shot and practice the 3-shot because you have space to do that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you actually get better faster in the long term.
Attack the Gold Fury.
So this is this is a beautiful dive. This is a good angle of a fight. Now let's see how you use your abilities here. Did you have to rush that? In terms of positioning of your team. Why?
Because they weren't paying attention, didn't know I was there.
That, and there's a big thing to look at.
My team is engaging them under the tower.
That too, and there's one more. It's a 5v3. Right? So you have so much time to be patient here. You can 3-1 here when you feel your opportunity is ready. I think 3-2ing would be better here. Reason being is that you can get in position with your horse, knowing that you're not gonna aggro the tower because they're taking the tower, and then find the person you want to root and up down. Which, remember, I told you, if you were leveling correctly, your 2 at this point, level 17, would be the highest damage, right? Because it scales harder than your 1. So your 3-2 here on Raw would do like 300-400 damage. Meaning this dude goes like here, and it's unmissable, right? Compared to your 3-1. If you're just near them and you 3-2, it's gonna hit. So you 3-2 here, then you 1 auto 2-1. I mean, they're dead in 3 lives over in terms of your spell usage here. And then you have all after that. And then you up down again. I mean, you've killed this chicken and his parents at this point. Like, you've killed them so many times. So you see how you're kind of rushing this. You got a lot of time to think. Was this right? I mean, it's a beautiful ult, but was this right?
No.
Why?
Because it was rushed. Exactly.
It's rushed. You have all your other spells ready. This is like the last spell you use. You know what I mean? I think it's fine to use it sometimes. Like this is one of those scenarios that it might be fine that you ult it because it's 3-man ult. I mean, this is picture perfect. But even this is the kind of math that I want to give you. Even then, that it's a 3-man beautiful picture frame ult, it's still wrong. Because your 1-2 do so much damage, and then ulting while your 1-2 are on CD is so efficient because your 1-2 are resetting CD while you're in the middle of your long ult animation. Because now they have a chance to get away, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you 2-3 of them, then autoed one, and I promise you they're all dead by then. But even if they Aegis beads, use every relic, then you have ult to chase, and I guarantee you they're dead 10 times over. But instead, since the way you use your kit, now they have a small chance. You can dive that. Why didn't you? Oh, he blinked it. He would have blinked your blink. One thing that I do want to work with you a lot is your relic usage. You rarely use relics, and I know this game has been a blown over, but the way, all right, you want to know the right way to use relics? Offensively, not defensively. And that's the biggest problem. A lot of people think relics are defensive. They're not. The right way to use them is they're offensive. When you use them defensive, that means you weren't ready for whatever was coming, so you had to use it defensive, right? If I knew what was coming, then I use it offensively because I knew you were going to stun me, so I was already prepping my beads to counter that.
Yeah.
So you can push here. You have 2 dead. You have the wave is about to die. So do you know how backdoor protection works? And if you don't know, don't worry. It's impossible to know everything in this game. I've been playing since I was 13 years old, so I'm 27 now. If I don't know, then
If you have a minion wave inside the Phoenix that or towers that removes protections.
yes. And do you know the math on that?
No.
So it's 50. So it goes from it's half the damage. It halves your damage on the bird. So right now there's an archer in there, right? Meaning if you were to hit it for 100. Once the archer dies, once your whole team leaves this little ring after the archer dies, now you hit it for 50. So I just wanted to give you that info just so you can make better calls in your rank games in the future. So the right call here is to disengage and go do objectives. So you just call your boys, hey guys, let's do some FG. That was a nice roll. Have you used the relic this game? I don't think you used the relic this game.
Not much.
That's definitely one of the biggest things that I want you to work on. Even if it's not, like I said, even if it's not high efficiency, it's better than no efficiency.
Has accepted a good fight. Now give some
It's the same on towers, correct?
Enemy unit
Another thing I want you to work on is 3-2ing. Even if it's not the right time, just get a feel for it for Lance.
a good fight. Retreat.
You saw it there again?
has been taken offline.
Your biggest damage spell, you're about to use it to cut distance. Like, this guy has no jump. You know what I mean? There's no need to rush this one. You agree?
Yeah.
Just walk up to him and then get your one off. And it's so important to hit your lance one because, as you know, it enables your next one. So if you're using your one to cut distance, it's probably bad. Unless it's like, it's a very rare situation, you know. Unless you're trying to run away, then it's fine, right? But if it's not to run away, then there's no need to do that. You should be backing right after this. Why?
I can upgrade my starter.
Beautiful. What does your starter do? Oh, you didn't upgrade it. You bought bubble. Do you think this is a good bubble game?
No.
Why?
Because they're so far behind that it probably doesn't matter.
That you know what? That's actually the best answer. I thought you were gonna give me something else, like they don't have that much CC. They're actually so behind that their stuns don't fucking matter. You literally slay all of them. You wanted your eye there, and if you were gonna greed buy something, it's gonna be something very luxurious like Bloodforge. Because right now you're not assessing the situation of the game. You assess their characters. And another way to think about bubble build is that, have you used your beads? No, so you don't sure as hell don't need bubble. You don't respect this guy. This guy walks like this, like a little critter. You blink on him 2-1-1 alt 1 and smash that man. You don't feel like you're playing your lead slow here? Like everybody's so big. You guys are up triple their kills, man. If I'm 7 foot and there's a guy standing in front of me that's like 5 foot, I'm dunking on him. I don't give a shit. Same thing goes for every other sport or every other type of game. You bleed, you show blood. I'm taking all the blood. All right, another time there. Let's assess this fight here. We use blink, so that's progress. That's progressive overload here. Then all right, your sense is the problem because it's too slow. You see how long it takes you to find him after the blink? And no worries, that's a control. That's a very, very common controller problem. Is everybody like the controller isn't good for this type of game in my opinion. So I don't know. Do you have a computer?
No.
That's fine. If you're gonna play a controller, like I said, hire that sense by maybe even double it from where it's at right now, and then get a feel, and then lower it a little bit, and then get a feel of that sweet spot. Because right now, I think if you hire it, you're not gonna miss that much more than you're missing right now. If anything, you're gonna land more, I think, and then you can kind of tweak it until you find the right vibe. You see this one? If you just tap your analog to the right a little bit, you land it.
Yeah.
I don't mind that you didn't ult there because you didn't have to. You guys get FG. Okay. Then you come to help on this fight. You see these yellow numbers? This is Heart Seeker. And then Crusher.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to know, just because, so you can think about what, what's this pickup value? There, that was pretty, pretty mechanics on the lance right there. There's a lot of wasted time. You agree there in terms of DPS?
Yeah.
For 1, you had bubble, so you knew you were not gonna get pull. For 2, you had beads, even if you lost your bubble. 3, you are immensely ahead. So you want at this point you want to focus DPS, 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 right? Especially as an assassin here late. Your root would have been better there. Your 2. There you go. And there, you see how you're always, after you 1, you have a habit of always 1ing after. Remember, you can 2 in between your 1s. And you also can auto a couple times. You have about 2 to 3 seconds after your initial 1 hits. So you're not forced to, you know, auto then 1 again. Depending on your attack speed, you can, you know, micromanage a little bit more damage in there. Nice. Get back on your horse right away. You want to start building up that shield immediately. What is the right call on the map here?
Split push.
Hit right Phoenix. 3, even though it's a 3v2, Anubis is doing Oni, he's pushing left, so either way keeping them here is good. And if you have a bomb, right? So you want to use this bomb here. Use your 3 a bit early. Sobek's in trouble. It gets kind of awkward.
Stand back.
You shouldn't be scared of any of these guys. But I know you don't know the limits on the character yet, which comes with time. Now you have I. Alright, here. After he plucks them back here, right?
Yeah.
You get a nice 1. You could have auto-cancelled 1, but you won first. Now, if you were to 1 again, or get around him because you're much faster than him with speed buff, just 2 him back. Think about the value on that. If you get right here and you 2 him this way, where does he want to walk? This way. So he's farther from where he wants to walk. And then what does that mean? You get way more autos in. And with Crusher and Eye and Hydras, that's high value time. Because now he might get away.
An ally has been taken offline.
That's Bako.
Ally down. Recalibrating tactics. You have killed the enemy.
What button could you press right here?
Ally down. Recalibrating tactics. You have
Think about it. There's one important, but what's about to happen to you right now? From the enemy.
Slow.
Exactly. And what do you have to counter that?
Beats.
Beautiful. So, because here the only way you die, right, is if this guy slows and Jingwei gets a couple autos because you're slowed. If you pre-beads it, means you're already immune to slow, stuns, everything. Then you beads this, and then you can get on your horse around the corner and you're out. But now, since you haven't beads and you're still slowed, I mean, he misses autos, but he shouldn't. Nice blink. What did you upgrade? Fire blink first? So do you think that was the right choice to upgrade fire blink here? Do you think
No.
why?
Upgrading the beats a little bit more value.
That, and you could have bought a 500 pot. So you could have upgraded beads, got 500 pot, and biggest thing for this math is that your blink is down for 2 minutes, meaning that you invested 800 gold in something you can't use for 2 minutes. So it's really, really low value. So upgrading your beads here, getting reduced CDs, and getting your 500 pot, which is very, very, very good, would have been much better. And then when you get that 500 pot, what does that change? It gives you 10% CD. So what does that change for you? You're now sitting at 40% CD between your three items, and your red pop, meaning you can swap your totem now. So now you can go into lifesteal or more pen. Both are valuable because you're only sitting at 30% pen between these three items, meaning you could be at 35%, or you could have lifesteal, or you could have more health and more mana, or you could have more attack speed. All is better than a stat that you're not going to use.
Yeah.
Did you see how much that 2 just hit for? It was 560.
Yeah.
You see, what's the first problem here? Oh, actually, I lied. Everything's okay. They ult you. You have your bubble. If you two-shot this bird, or you could use your bomb. There it is. Nice bomb usage. Beautiful. What should you be doing right now? Just be on the horse.
Yeah.
Start building that shield, and you can do whatever you want here. Because now look, now if he hits you once, look how small your shield is. You're off your horse immediately. If you were on your horse already, you'd be here. Meaning you tank 1-2 autos, which is a lot of value at this point. And it gives you time to react. Because after you get hit by one auto, you up down and you strafe towards him. You're probably going to 1 here instead of 2ing. You see how you got off your horse because you weren't charged up on the shield? He only did 200. That's very low damage. And now you want to run straight at him. This guy's nobody. I want you to go to jungle practice and watch my, I don't know, if you watched my Lancelot guide before?
I think I watched like a bit of it.
Watch the Lancelot guide and look at the end of the micro. But one of the best combos on this character is to ult. As soon as you touch them with your ult, your little pointy, the end of your sword, on your ult, you can immediately 2. That damage is about 1200 damage. And you're untargetable during this time. So it's one of his best combos, and you really haven't used it this game. Don't worry, Cooch. Lance is too hard to say. You can't say Lance or Lancelot. Do you have any questions about anything? Or anything that you feel like you didn't really quite understand?
Not really.
You feel like anything that you were like, I don't really get anything in terms of like the rotation of the kit, because I know there was a lot of information to process. Everything you felt like you understood?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I hope I helped your Lancelot gameplay and jungle rotations and items and made you a better player. Now all you gotta do is apply.
Right, I appreciate it.
You already know, my man. If you have any questions on Twitter, feel free to ask me on anything that you feel like you're not sure on.
Okay.
Alrighty, my man. Have a good rest of your day, brother.
You too.